Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Are you?
There we go. I can. Why am I not there? Can you hear me, Jim?
Yes, sir. There he is.
There we go. All is well with the world. So yeah, our normal intro didn't work there, but that's the joys of going live. Let's give it another try, see if it happens.
Yes.
No. So it'll just be me and Jim. Jim is in a different location this week. Jim, whereabouts are you?
Well, I'm in the spare room because the spare bedroom is being occupied by a variety of guests over the next couple of weeks,
Oh, fantastic.
which is terrible timing because Black Friday is coming up. So I've got to do some work to get things ready.
Yeah, Black Friday is a crazy day. I would definitely say set aside some time. Make sure you got some water so you're nice and refreshed as well. It is a crazy time of the year. There we go. Pop that up there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, how has your week been? When is Thanksgiving? It's not this week, is it? This week or next
It's
week?
next week. Next week, yeah. That's where we have all the guests coming. That's better. Okay. Well, I got to tell you too, Grant. It's funny because, my wife. I know it's a cliche, but my wife loves to shop, and I mean, not just shop for like clothes and stuff, but like even the grocery store. If I go to the grocery store without her, oh, she gets so upset. Any store she wants to go to, and so Black Friday, she said, so we have to make a plan for Black Friday, and I'm like, oh shoot, I got to work. I'm going live, and she's not too happy about it. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Black Friday is the busiest online shopping day of the year, and it's crazy. And not just for people that are on Amazon and for people doing online retail, but anybody should be jumping onto that bandwagon. So if you are a therapist or a coach or any type of entrepreneur, as cliched as it is to kind of get involved in these things, there's going to be a lot of people online looking for deals. And if you stick a Black Friday sticker on there, people are going to kind of get caught up in that hype and get involved in it. So if you are a therapist or coach and you've got a Black Friday deal, let us know in the comment section what it is.
Yeah.
We'll give it a plug on the screen because, again, it's all about sharing that love. And see, Michael Brody's put his business page up. Michael Brody, another fellow Be Liver as well. Michael Brody, hypnotist.com. And Michael does. Have you caught Michael's live shows?
I have. I've caught a couple of them. Yep.
Yeah, they're really good actually. His production is phenomenal on there. So yeah, it's really cool. It's like the family is growing of us Be Live hypnotists. So yeah,
that's right. I just joined my. I just did my team account today.
Cool.
I
sent you a link to be on my team as well, so you could come in this way. But I'll talk you through how to do that if you want. But yeah, it's the team thing is brilliant.
Well, that's what I did today. I'm on Dan's team. Well, I just joined today. Your team and Dan's team.
Yeah. I joined Dan's team, and I feel we might be helping him out on his. So that's cool. So what are your wins this week, Jim?
Wins this week? Wow, that's a great question, buddy. How about you give me your wins first, and I'll think about it.
What are my wins this week? Amazon have just opened the influencer program up here in the UK, and so I just got accepted for that. So I posted some stuff on there as well. One of my favourite shows that I did every year, the Belladrum Festival. Last year they didn't book me, and you kind of like,
yeah.
Well, that's that. Yesterday they came back and went, we need you on these dates. What fee? Just let us know your fee. And I kind of think, do you know what it was? I think it was last year because they didn't approach me and kind of go, we want you. I kind of didn't go, I want to do it, and assumed they didn't want me anymore. So I didn't do it last year, and luckily it's come back in, and it means I'll be performing with Sophie Ellis Bextor. So I don't know if she made it over to the US, but she is my childhood crush. So Yeah, I think she has 2 hits, one in the 80s and one round about nowish. So yeah, Sophie Ellis Bextor. Give her a Google.
I'm doing
Murder
it
on the
right now.
Dance Floor was the song.
Sophie Ellis Baxter, you said? Baxter.
Ellis
Okay.
Bextor. There
Yeah.
we go.
Oh, yes. She looks like she sings well. I bet she sings very well.
She looks like she sings well. Michael says, my wins this week are doing many hypnosis seminars and booking all-night high school grad parties.
Yeah. Nice.
I must admit, I'm gonna trying to book in a couple of seminars between now and kind of January, February.
Yeah.
Just because I bought that Bose S1 system just for doing those little workshops. And then the moment I bought that, I've not really done many. So I want to get a couple more of them out just to create some content as well.
Yeah. You know, and that reminds me too, is I should be bringing my I didn't buy the Bose. The other one I bought. The other one. What's it? Anyway, can't remember the name. Anyway, the my PA, when I do these seminars too, just even though I don't need it, but it does. I think it helps. Helps the.
It just it elevates it a little bit more. I think a lot of the talks I do, I don't need a microphone. I don't need a speaker, but to have it anyway, it kind of captures them in that moment. So yeah, I'm trying to do a bit more of that production stuff.
Yeah, I'd say I think one of my wins for this week was definitely doing a really nice murder mystery. Just love it. Got to stay in a fancy resort. Got the food for free. Everything was good. The people loved it. It was just a lot of fun. And there was a situation where didn't need a sound system, but I was like, I'm bringing the sound system next time because for a lot of reasons. Number one, I strained my voice because I'm not used to projecting like I used to when I was an actor more. And then the other thing is it really shows people who's in charge.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That it puts you above everybody else. And it means if you have got a bit of chitter chatter in the room, your speaker cuts through all of that and they have to focus on you. For straining your voice, warm Manuka honey kind of before and after a show. If you're doing lots of talking or presenting, warm Manuka honey and the good stuff, not here's my discovery this year.
Yeah.
Good Manuka honey. I didn't know how good this stuff was until I went to a health food shop and literally I saw this jar of honey for like it's £80, probably $100 for a small jar of honey. And I'm like, what's in that? What's that gonna do?
Right.
But apparently, like real Manuka honey, and they've got different numbers next to them. The higher the number, the better it is. You can put it on cuts and on sores, and it fixes you. But maybe not the $100 one. Make yourself a $40, $50 Manuka honey. Warm it up a little bit on a teaspoon, and then just swallow it before you do a show, and it just coats your vocal cords. And it helps. So that's a super, super tip. I was finding after like a weekend of shows, come Monday, I've got no voice whatsoever, even with a microphone, because I like to shout down my microphone as well. That really helped.
Yeah, I understand that.
Dennis Ridgway says, I hear there is a great new speaker on the summit.
Really? I haven't heard about any
speakers are great.
Yes. Maybe we'll start doing
L1 compact Bose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll start doing some announcements on Hypno News. Well, I mean, we could do it today. We could make an announcement. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Dennis Ridgway is an accepted speaker.
Boom. That's the first one out of the stocks.
There it is. There it is.
So I'm just trying to bring up the link for the Elman Hypnosis.
And another one, Catherine Hickland. So you're in good company, Mr. Ridgway.
Yeah. I saw Catherine Hickland at the Ultimate Stage Hypnosis Conference at that same venue. I think it was 2015, a long time ago. And so, yeah, it'll be great to see her as well. Michael Boulder says, woohoo. I don't know if that was for Dennis Ridgway or for Catherine Hickland. My money's on Catherine Hickland.
That reminds me, Michael, I thought you said didn't you say you put in a proposal? Because I didn't see it. Let us know in the comments.
Let me bring the let me just find it. You talk for a minute, Jim, whilst I just hypnosis.com.
Well, I do want to you know what, I got it. You know how you have your mic that says mute, or your coffee mug that says mute, off mute? I need one that says press live. God dang it. Every single time. Hey, welcome to the stream. We're while you're doing that, I want to talk about a book, and I got to think most of us have read this book. If you haven't, you absolutely must read this book, and it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I'm telling you guys,
great book.
Yeah, I mean, it's, if you haven't read it, you have to. There's no it's dated. The language is funny. It's and all that, but I'm telling you guys, it really is. It'll change your life. I can absolutely say I read it when I was about 21, and I think the trajectory I was on was. I'm trying to find a nice photo for you. But it changed the whole trajectory of my life, I think, in a lot of ways. And one of the things that it teaches you is like when you know how to be more pleasant. Really, it just talks about how to be more, a lot of ways, just be more pleasant, and why you should be more pleasant. And it's such a really important book. So I highly recommend it to everybody. And if you've read the book, let us know. I want to know who's read it.
I think it's one of those books that you've got to read a couple of times as well. I go back to that book quite a few times, and just when you think you know it and someone recommends it, you kind of go, yeah, I've read it. And then you read it again, you go, oh, this is such a great book.
Yeah.
Timeless.
And you're right. You know what? It's the kind of thing you really do have to review, because, I mean, a lot of the stuff in there you don't think about. It's not really maybe human nature, So it takes a... You want to integrate that. So get that book, people. Get the book.
Cool. Let me just pop over here as well. So one of the things you put in the chat there about the Elman Hypnosis Conference. This is coming up. When is this?
Mid-January. Remember the exact dates. I should know. Oh, yeah. January 19th through the 21st. Go get signed up. This is... Grant, did you get your submission in for this one?
I did not get my submission put in time, and it's only after I realized I'd missed it that I realized it's online as well. So I could have easily done it, but I looked at the dates and I'm like, oh, it's a bit tight. So so I've missed out on that. But there's a lesson in that as well. There
is, yeah. I think, well, one of the things is I don't think we've talked about it much on here, and I think we probably should have. I mean, it really is a who's who of the hypnosis industry. And I'll be honest with you, I've been watching this one for a couple of years, and I kept thinking, oh man, I wish I could be on that. And then to be on it, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So Kaz Riley's going to be there, Richard Nongard, of course, the Elmans. I mean, it really is just all the thought leaders.
All of them.
Except Saunders.
Except me, yeah. That's great. And you know what? They're such a lovely couple as well. We've had some great fun with them at conferences. Genuinely nice people, and I think that's the important thing about attending these conferences as well. That it is you get to meet some fantastic people, and they are no exception. So that's cool.
That is one of the disappointing things is that it's online, because you really make those connections. I mean, you can make those connections online, but in person, so much different.
Yeah, it's online is you're 50% of the way there.
Yeah,
and it's like what they say about like communication. So much of communication is non-verbal. At conferences, so much of it is that in-person event where you get to speak to people, and it's not just the conversations that happen in the presentations. It's the coffee breaks. It's the walking down the corridor and meeting people. It's those connections that I think are more important sometimes than the actual content that the speakers deliver.
I hate to say it, but you're absolutely right. I mean, I've gotten more out of those conversations than I have out of any of the classes, and I've had some great classes. They're definitely great classes, but definitely, yeah.
I remember sitting down with Anthony Gailey and having a conversation for 20 minutes once, and the amount of the amount of business knowledge he imparted in that 20 minutes, I was just furiously writing notes in my phone.
You know, and I got to tell you, so I mean, Anthony is a righteous dude. He actually hooked us up with Catherine because I couldn't get to her because she's very well known. Why would she reply to me, right? And he actually sent her a message, said, "Hey, these guys are doing something cool. I love what they're doing. You should take a look at it." I mean, just such a nice guy, really.
Yeah, and it epitomizes what's good about everything of the industry at the moment. And speaking of all of that, let's just quickly mention. I've heard of this. It seems to be something going on in Vegas, the Performing Hypnosis Summit.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds familiar, Grant. Yeah,
it rings a bell, doesn't it?
Who's going? Who's going?
Yeah, so that's going to be exceptionally good. Really looking forward to it. Some great speakers. Speaker lineup will be going live this week, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, we will. Emails went out last night, late last night or this morning. Can't remember. Late last night, I believe it was.
Brilliant.
And I got some news I haven't even shared with you yet, Grant, because I just found out today. I was talking to them on the phone. They called, and this is crazy, dude, because this never happens. They actually called about, well, number one, we've got some rooms confirmed, everybody. So we are going to be offering a few very limited amount of pre and post conference workshops. Excited about that. And then also, for some reason, she said that when she looked at the dates again, she was able to lower the hotel room rates. I said, "What? Awesome. Who does that? Who calls and says we're going to lower the rate?" I was like, "Right, great, perfect." So that's exciting. Yeah,
brilliant. Michael Brody says I did put in for a speaking spot in the conference.
I'll have to track that down, Michael. I'll tell you right now, you're approved. So
yeah.
Great.
I must admit, Michael's, when we talk about those conversations and those meetings that you have, at conferences, Michael is one of those that, I had an honor of meeting and I now class as a friend as well.
Me too. And Michigan, he and I got to sit down and we sat down over dinner and had a really great conversation. Got to see his show, which was phenomenal. And I know he's a very popular speaker last year at the summit. So yeah, looking forward to what he brings to the table this year.
Yeah. Yeah. And what he's done with Norbert is just fantastic. So yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heartland is coming up as well. The deadline for speakers for that is December, I believe. So that's coming up. Well, that's going to be really cool. Always a very popular one. So yeah, really excited for that as well. Excited and nervous for that this year.
Oh yeah? Why is that?
It was just
why. I know why. Never mind. Hold on. Does this ring a bell?
Yeah. So it should be an interesting one this year. So I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe I should.
Again, the connections you make at these conferences can be lifelong.
You talked about the Ellmans. That's where we actually got to sit down. I think we both probably met them before. I'd met them before, but kind of in passing. But that's when we got to actually sit down with them at Dave & Buster's and have dinner and chat with them. And it was you just don't get that at some of the other conferences,
Yeah. I just like, I like that Dennis's profile picture there. The godfather of stage hypnosis is coming to the conference. Love it, Dennis. That is awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah, get the word out.
Another product, Jim?
Got what?
Another product?
I do. Yeah. So you
mentioned about sound systems. Yeah.
So this baby right here. Boom. There it is. That's the heart of it anyway. Some of you are probably familiar with this bad boy. It's the Fender Passport event. And of course I've got the branding on there. Damn, I'm pretty. Don't miss that.
Oh, I love it.
This thing is so I've had it for years. I've had it for 8 years probably. It was recommended to me by Justin James, and it was really great advice. It's traveled well until the airline smashed the bottom of it, which I didn't think was possible to break this thing. But There's a lot of small systems out there now, but I mean, this thing it's got the 2 speakers with it, so it will fill a room. I've never had any problem. Even those big gymnasiums that we do with the schools, it's been a phenomenal piece of equipment. So as holiday parties are coming up for the hypnotists, if you've got a big room and you're concerned, grab this thing. It weighs about 45 pounds. I wouldn't fly with it anymore because they got the smaller ones, but if it's something local, I'm taking it.
It's weird. I mean, we don't have that particular system here in the UK. And I remember seeing on the groups loads of people talking about them. And I'm a bit of a PA snob. So I've always kind of been like, I need to be loud, it needs to be good quality. And the first time I've come over there to do some work, someone's loaned me a Fender Passport system.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, how big's the venue? And they told me the size of the venue. And they're like, oh, there could be a good couple of hundred students there. And I've gone, what size is the Fender Passport? And they're like, oh, it's like, I think they said it was like 250 watts or 250 watts a side, 500 watts. And I looked at it and I kind of thought, knowing the sound that I do, I go, yeah, but that's if you have 4 speakers and you take it down to 8 homes with 2 speakers, that's 150 watts. How do you do a show of 150 watts to 200 students in an auditorium? This is not going to work. And I remember getting there, plugging it in, and it worked perfectly. And I was kind of like, oh, and that's when I really kind of changed how I thought about sound in what I do. But yeah, a brilliant system and so portable as well, which is brilliant. Everything's there. The mixer, the amp, the speakers, the whole kit is in that. So it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. See, Dennis has it. Good for you, Dennis.
Yeah, I think it's got to be one of the most popular sound systems for hypnotists.
Yeah, I think I said that, you'll see it referred to as the football in a lot of the groups because that's shaped like a football.
Always great for sound systems.
Our kind of football, not yours.
Oh, right. Yeah, there you go. Who I was going to say who had it first. We obviously had it first because you guys are still young. But I'd never get it because it spends the majority of its time in your hand.
Oh, yeah. I guess so.
Whereas with us, it's like what soccer, we kick the ball with our feet, hence it's a football. You use your hands with it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was really kind of whoever did that, whoever named it, got it wrong. That's right. I mean, in fact, you only kick it like sometimes you could go through the whole game and not kick the ball. Well, no, you'd have to kick it off, I guess, for the kickoff, but not very often. You do have it in the hand a lot more often. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is very true. Michael says, I love my Bose system S1 2L1 compacts. It fills an auditorium with cross sound.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, when it comes to sound, my regular sound here is the Bose F1 or the 812, which is a Bose line array system, which I've realized is far too much sound than what any gigging hypnotist ever really needs. But it does the job. And so, yeah, so I've now got the S1 because I saw Michael's demonstration at, was it Michigan? I think it was Michigan, not last year, the year before. And I saw that and I thought, you know what, I'm very much interested in this. And then at Heartlands, Salish brought his, and it was like, yeah, the smaller bowls can actually do a good job. So yeah, really cool. Really pleased with that.
I wanted to get the towers, but man, for traveling, I didn't trust them. So
yeah, for me, I always had in my mind that I need at least 1,000 watts. And so like exactly. Do you know what I mean? So like, I travel with, my Bose F1s are, each top is about Bose don't do it in watts. Bose are very different from other speakers, but each top is about 1,000 watts. And then the bins are a little bit more than that as well. And so that's a lot of sound. But most venues, I've realized, do not need a quarter of that because we're just doing vocals predominantly. I am not a band. But I do like to turn up with a system that when the band says, no, you can't plug into my system, you're going to have to use your own. Then when I bring mine in, I want the band to be like, Oh shit. So,
I
yeah.
think Grant
This week
wants to be
saw
a rock
an
star.
interesting. I'll say that again. Sorry.
I said Grant wants to be a rock star. That's why he wants to fill
I
stadiums.
do.
Yeah.
I was at a venue the other night for a show, and I was on with a band. I say a band. It was really cool. It was a singer who hires in his own jobbing musicians and then gives them his sheet music on the night. They'd never met before the night.
Mm-hmm.
And then literally after me, they were going on and doing a set. And I was like, are you not nervous not knowing? He went, well, no, because they're musicians. They read the music. Everything's fine. And I'm like, you guys are too talented for me. Like,
no kidding. No kidding. That seems like magic.
Yeah, absolutely. So this week saw the International Stage Hypnosis Association release the second tier of membership, which seems to have gone down an absolute storm really well. Did you see the webinar for that?
I did not. Catch me up.
Basically, it's there's no extra money to be paid for it. You don't have to pay for advanced membership, but to be promoted on the website, that's big. What they're doing is basically, if you can prove like your training, if you can prove your insurance, and there was something else I can't remember now. But basically, it's showing that you're a decent hypnotist. Then you get the next level, the professional level of membership. See if I can remember what it is. It's in here actually. Professional members, criminal background check. That was it. Criminal background check, proof of training, and proof of insurance, which we've all had to go through as well. And I think that's a really good thing because it does kind of keep the rough ones out. I know I did joke with Paul when we were talking about it, and it's like, Grant, we need to do yours as well before we open it out. And I've gone, I don't know about a priest background check. And he did send me a private message going, is everything going to be okay? I went, everything's going to be okay.
It's all been expunged, right?
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was under a different name. So that was really cool. That's really exciting. So it's nice to see how that's progressing. And like the education stuff has been launched now. There's a course on AI for stage hypnotists.
Yeah.
And some really cool stuff going on there. So that's been a nice little thing going on there.
I look forward to the holidays so I can catch up to that. I'm curious though, what about us, those of us that are unfortunately self-trained? Do we just put ourselves down as our trainer?
It depends. Again, it's some kind of formal training. It doesn't necessarily have to just be stage, whether it's been in clinical or something else like that. There's been some kind of training in hypnosis, so that so you've not been trained by. We don't want people doing therapy that have been trained by YouTube. Well,
right.
Yeah. Cool. Kevin Lepine's book came out. We had him on this show and on your Hypnosis Heroes.
Yeah. Yep.
After Las Vegas, Jim and Michael may not pass.
We got to get those in quick, Michael, so that before they do the background check. That'll just be the one check, right? It's not like an annual check or anything.
Yeah. I must admit, Michael's a bit crazy in Vegas. I wonder if he's going to be as crazy this time.
We should invite Chris Noble just for fun, so we can go walk the streets of Vegas.
The back streets of Vegas.
Yeah, the back streets.
The back streets. Cool. Do you have another product for us, Jim?
Well, this is what I was thinking about when we had Kevin on the show. He was kind of thwarted from gaining in the ranks until later on. I think he did pass it, but it was because of this book right here, The Silva Method. And there were two versions of it.
Book.
And you know what? And that's it. You know what it is. And I kind of started it back in I want to say the 90s, and then I kind of stopped. Oh, look at that.
There you go. You recommended this book a couple of months back, and whenever you say it's a good book, I always buy it. So yeah, it's brilliant. Bravo.
The thing that it kind of lost me on some of the stuff because it kind of goes into like using it for ESP and stuff. I remember in the 90s, I was like, that seems silly, so I didn't do it. But if you just want to read up to that part, and maybe it's legit too, but if you just want to read up to that part, it's really self-hypnosis. right? Just a
Yeah.
certain protocol for it, and it works so well. You do 15 minutes of that and feel really refreshed.
It's weird. There's a great speaker here in the UK, motivational speaker, who has a fantastic story, and he trains lots of speakers as well. I've just signed up for one of the courses that he does. And a couple of years ago, I went to go see him speak, and he did this amazing talk. And then I went to go see another one after that. And then about 3/4 of the way through, he just went down a woo-woo rabbit hole that was just like a woo too much for me. And then it's difficult. Now, I don't know if that's my own blocks, that once it gets too woo-woo, I lose myself a little bit. But I mean, I love the concept of being able to do stuff via ESP and the power of the mind. And we're going to test it now because I've read the book, Jim. I'm going to test it now. I'm going to try and switch the lights on. I'm going to try to switch the lights on through the power of the mind. It's not work. It's not work. So there we go.
Hold on. Let me find the power switch quick.
I was trying to speak slowly to try and line that up there.
No, where's the power? We got to rehearse better next time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's there we go. It's like the law of attraction stuff. I think is absolutely phenomenal, and it is. It's how far do you go into it before it becomes woo-woo?
And I think we're similar in that, I want that stuff to be legit. And I kind of halfway believe, but then I don't know. It just kind of turns me off though when there's a speaker talking about. I don't know why.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, he talks about numbers. Whenever he sees numbers now, he knows it's this certain person contacting him. And I'm like, or it's a digital clock, and those numbers appear all the time.
Right. Twice a day.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
you're watching for them, so at least twice a day. I mean, it could be more often depending on what the numbers are.
Exactly.
Got a visitor?
Exactly. Yeah. So anything else, Jim?
I don't think so. I think that's about it.
That is cool. So join us every week here for Hypno News Live, where we'll bring you stuff that's going on, products, books, book reviews, and anything else we can think of as well. And guys, don't forget, next week, I quite like the what's your win of the week. So I think we should introduce that every week. So it's always nice to have an excuse to shout about ourselves, about something good that's happening in our lives and our businesses. So win of the week will be coming in every week.
I love it. You know what? And speaking of other wins, I mean, could we mention your book? You're actually an author now. I mean,
it's it's
kind of a big deal.
So, look, it's there as if by magic.
That is. It was my ESP. I was using the ESP right there. Just boom.
You were using the ESP. There we go. It came about just from, I was trying to do some research on hooks for live streaming. And that then ended up becoming just a small, I mean, it's not a massive book, but it's a small book on tips and tricks for live streaming of hooks that can be used to kind of grab your audience's attention, and a little bit of the psychology that we know about being hypnotists and how we could interweave that into our live streams to make them better and to get more engagement. Not that you'd have seen any of that in tonight's show. But yeah, so it is a work in progress. It is published now. It is available on Amazon. And so, yes, I'm an author, but do check it out. As well, at the book, at the end of it, is all of the hooks that I've kind of found to be useful for grabbing that engagement. So do check that out as well.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I've been watching a lot of your videos lately about streaming on Amazon, and then watching some of your shoppable videos, hoping to get some of my own out soon. And really, God, they're just spot on. I mean, you can learn a lot from this guy. Trust me.
I mean, on that note as well, Jim, the shoppable videos, they're such a great way of, again, I look at everything. You can look at Amazon Live, as some people do as well, or you're just schlepping products. But the reality is you're using one of the biggest platforms on the planet and they're sending people to you. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in your niche. It just has to be a complementary niche, and it's putting eyeballs on your stuff, and you're not having to mess with the algorithm like you do on all the other platforms as well. And you get monetized, which is pretty good.
Well, and like, you know what I like too is like what you had brought up, a while back. If you're going to live stream anyway, and we're influencers. I mean, we're hypnotists, we're influencers. Why not share things that you really like? We're not on here talking about stuff we don't like. Share stuff that you like, and maybe you make a couple of bucks, and people get extra value out of watching your video. So I think it just makes a lot of sense.
For those that, and you know what, next week we'll put up a link for this as well. But to give an example, I did a half-assed live stream last week for something else. If you were watching that show, I won't say half-assed. That's the wrong way of doing it. It was done to talk about the tech that I'm using to go live rather than to sell product. So it was like, this is the microphone that I use. This is this. This is that. Somebody who obviously is setting up a podcast clicked on that live stream, then went off. They didn't buy anything that I was talking about. They went off and then bought 4 or 5 Shure SM7B microphones, $2,500 worth of product. That one sale earned me £70 during that stream. Just that one thing. And if I'd have not had that link on there, I'd have done exactly the same but earned nothing. But because of that, that product was made and the commission was earned. And so they say money for nothing and your chicks for free. That's as close as you're going to get for it. So yeah. So if you're not in that program yet, definitely get into it.
Yeah, good deal.
Cool,
Grant. It's been awesome talking to you as always.
Cool. When's Hypnosis Heroes? Is that tomorrow night?
Not tomorrow, it'll be the next Friday, and we've got I always have trouble saying her name, Chanel. She's from South Africa, but she lives in Portugal. A hypnotherapist. It'll be fun to talk to her.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, folks. Every second and fourth Friday. Oh, and it will be that's Black Friday, so I'm going to be streaming a lot on Friday.
Yeah. Cool. Brilliant. Guys, take care. See you next week.
Take care, everybody.